Hey everybody, it's Omnispiratory Flux, call me Flux for short, or whatever you want to call me. And in the last episode, we had a hard time getting through the Music Madness and a much easier time getting through the K level, but also made a rocket appear in the middle of the factory. I guess that's what this thing was building? Question mark? And in this episode, we're going to head up to it and go to 7-R, Liftoff Launch. This is kind of a unique level in the game in some ways. It's not a boss level, but it does not have any Kong letters or puzzle pieces. You just sort of see that thing in the background here. It's kind of like a power cell or something, and this meteors floating in the thing. And oh, it has one little secret thing here, but it's not super important. Right underneath the rocket, it's a banana coin. You might notice that I have, off screen, I have bought a bunch of lives from Cranky. Also, yes, we are flying in a rocket barrel vertically. You can press 2 to speed up, or just kind of follow the thing. Just get bananas, fly up. Try not to hit the walls. You will occasionally probably have to speed up to get through some of the areas, but gotta steer around these floating airship things, just sort of flying up into the sky. The aurora up here. It's a fantastic view of it all. And the moon too. You can grab some bananas here if you want. Just don't fly into anything, because you will instantly die in what is otherwise just kind of an interesting interlude level without really much threat of failure. And then you go up to the boss from here. And the boss fight is... this one's gonna be a pain. Feather Fiend, World 7 boss. This is probably the hardest thing in the game. Definitely the hardest required thing in the game. The only things that come close are the one of the K levels we already played, and another optional level later. But yeah, we just kind of climb up the chains here. Oh boy, I'm not ready for this. This boss, it's also a bit of actual story progress. That they're filling up those things with stuff, and they're making tikis. And it turns out that stuff is... well, I guess you can't really see that from there, but that chicken in the egg suit thing... that's our bananas that they've been stealing. That's why they've been stealing our bananas. Also, he gets possessed by an accordion, of course. But yes, those are mashed up bananas, and that's why they've been taking our bananas. And now we're going to fight a giant chicken in a mech suit, basically. You gotta kind of get underneath his legs, because you don't have any other way to dodge him. You have to go underneath him. And that's why he's considered so difficult, is even if you know his attack patterns and the patterns that he needs to go through to dodge, that you need to dodge, he is still really annoying to face. Okay, first time he doesn't go red. Second time he goes... okay. Okay, that's kind of rude. Okay. See, that's the thing. And this is why I bought all these lives. His weak point is on the underside of the robot. You have to get underneath him when he's going to expose that weak point. That's not as easy as it seems. So do this. His first first 3 times across the thing are easy enough, but it just takes up time and you can't actually damage him until after this part. So that's another notch against him. Here you want to wait until after he does the red thing and then... Also, half the time his legs are spread out, half the time his legs are close together, and you cannot stand underneath him when his legs are right next to each other. Obviously, there's no room. But, gotta... Also, if you're standing directly underneath him, he will generally... Okay, and also, this is how you actually attack him, is like that. Also, I've already lost Diddy, which is not good. But, yeah, so... Okay. Okay. That's fine too, game. But no. It's just getting to this guy's weak point is an absolute pain. Everything about this boss fight is just a pain to deal with. And I've beaten this a few times, but it's still probably one of the hardest things in the game, maybe even more so than any of the optional levels are. I'm not entirely sure about that, but this boss fight, it's definitely one of the things I was looking forward to the least when I decided I was going to LP this game. Also, you kind of have to duck, or you're going to get spiked when he does the thing, so... He'll also if he does leave his weak spot vulnerable, like this, sometimes he will do kind of... Okay. Can I actually do this? Okay. He will also sometimes, like, be scratching at the conveyor belt you're standing on, which you can theoretically get by him when he's doing that, but it's an extremely tight window. Also, at this point, he no longer has quite as predictable a pattern of whether he's gonna go red or not. He didn't there. He's probably gonna do so on that pass at some point. I don't know. Okay, he's doing it there. But he did so for like half of the thing. But you're supposed to be able to duck underneath that. Also, okay, 3 pounds to the bottom of his egg. And he goes on to the second phase of the fight, which isn't much easier. He drops eggs on you. But no. This fight is just... It's absolutely exhausting, honestly. And even having learned the patterns, I can't tell you how you're actually supposed to fight this guy half the time without tanking hits. And you don't get enough hearts to really make that a viable option for the entire fight. So I pretty much just get through this fight on luck half the time whenever I do beat it. It's going to take a little while. I am personally prepared for this recording session to go on for an hour. The longest recording session I've had in this LP so far has probably been a little over 30 minutes. And also, okay, I managed to get to that somehow without taking a hit, so can I keep that up? You're gonna jump up again. Also, okay, I had to take a hit there, but fortunately, you should. Also, he doesn't always give a heart. Sometimes he does. That time he didn't. And again, now he's gonna go through this, and it's just gonna be lucky guesswork whether or not he's gonna suddenly go red when you decide to try to go under him. The pattern is easy enough to do that. It's just when he randomly decides to turn red and go fast like that. And especially now when he, like, once you've done some damage to him, when he does that, he typically does so for, like, the majority of the length of the conveyor belt. Also, if he spins around, you know that he's gonna leave the weak spot open. Also, I don't think he ever gives a heart on when he changes phase, which is also kind of a bad thing because... Okay, the chicken enemies do give hearts, though. Basically, what you have to do is jump on top of him whenever he drops down. The chickens, at least, can give hearts to recover with. They don't always, though, is, of course, the caveat. Holy crap, I beat him already? That was not how I was expecting that to go. I was expecting that to take way more tries. I don't think I'd ever beaten this boss without having the checkpoint pig come out and try to get Super Guide for me. But nope, let's beat up an accordion. I am sorry, Weird Al. I do not mean to disrespect you. It's just this accordion is not nearly as good as you are. So, yeah, that's... I was not expecting that to go so quickly or so smoothly. I guess we can move on to the final world in this episode. That's a surprise. The final world of the game is the volcano world. And yeah, that's how this is gonna go, isn't it? This world is about as intense as it appears. Level 8-1, Furious Fire. And yeah, that name is going to be pretty dang foreboding, no matter what level it gets put on. And this level definitely lives up to it. There's nothing you can do back there. It's just kind of a transition from the factory. But also, I love how there are somehow, like, palm trees growing in the crater of a volcano. I think you can technically blow on those enemies to put out the fire, but it's not really worth it unless you can, like, really time the thing. Oh, blowing on the enemy not only puts out the fire, because the whole enemy is fire, it just kills the enemy. But again, you have to be, like, right next to it. And also, yeah, there are giant ones that are just kind of obstacles in the level, which you have to plan your movements around. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Also, but generally the big ones move in fixed patterns, so it's not hard to stay in a safe spot, observe where they're gonna go. Okay. Like I did not do there. And just, yeah. So, yeah, this level is intimidating looking, obviously. But the actual level itself is not nearly as hard as it appears at first glance. Now, that said, it's still pretty hard. You can kind of duck under the big ones sometimes, not all the time. And of course, again, you've got like the actual like giant... Okay, not sure what I was doing there. I am still stunned that I got through that boss fight so easily. After all the times where I've said, oh, this level isn't that hard and it took me forever. I've gotten through all the things that I've said have been really hard a lot faster than I was anticipating. Like, even for how long it felt like it took me to get through level 6K. that was not as long of a recording session as 5K's was. In 5K, I specifically said, "Oh, this one's not actually quite as hard as it seems. It's hard, but it's fair, and you can learn it." And yeah, I got through it and I learned it, but it took me a long time. And the one that I thought, okay, this is really ridiculous. I'm not even going to be able to learn this properly. It took me less time. Okay. Okay, can I actually make it through? I just want to get to a checkpoint without having to without having to die again. And I know... Well, not know. I think there's going to be one coming up soonish. Okay. This blue tiki is annoying as always, but... Okay, don't pound on this quite yet. I actually do remember this. Oh, that's just a one-up? That's not worth it at all. That's not worth it at all. Huh. Anyway, can I get back to that pad thing now? Okay. I just don't get it. Why am I so horrible? I'm not trying to play badly, okay, guys? It's just... I don't know what's going on. I'm just playing so horribly right now, even though that boss fight took me less than 10 minutes. Probably. Or like maybe 10 minutes. I don't know exactly what point I started trying to do it, but that did not take me nearly as long as I thought it would. And yet, here's this level, which I generally don't consider to be nearly as difficult, if you know what you're doing. And I am just having every single trouble in the world, all of the troubles, including the troubles, wow, I have never even watched Star Trek. In any form. But no, I just... Okay. How I made it through that, I don't know. But, okay, Diddy Kong, you were useful. But now, yep, pounding on that lava, oh, and it just sort of rockets you up to a checkpoint, which I could definitely use right now. No. Now, what is this? I always want to check on the thing with fire that you can jump on or blow on or pound or whatever. But, man, this level is... Oh, crap, not good. Nah. Wow, how many puzzles? 2 out of 5, okay, so I'm roughly halfway through the level, but this is, so far, this has taken me, okay, way longer than it was supposed to. I started this level because I figured, oh, I'll have plenty of time. It's not gonna take me that long. Well, here's a bonus level, so here's my 3rd out of 5. Fortunately, it's not that difficult. Unfortunately, I don't have Diddy Kong, so it's a little more tricky. You just kind of have to wait a bit. You can't really jump any higher with Diddy Kong, but hovering into the ones that are nearby definitely helps you get through that with a little bit more time to spare. But no, okay, that was a bad place to hide. Come back here, bananas. Okay, no, you're not really that important. Can I pull on that? Okay. That fire was timed very badly. All of that was timed very badly for me. I'm gonna run. Yeah, knowing where the fire goes when it goes is definitely helpful to getting through this level in one piece, but okay, gotta duck. Also, being able to duck the right amount of time without feeling like your controller is gonna forsake you is also helpful. I'm pretty sure the final puzzle piece is somewhere in this little stretch here. Right. I know the G is, I'm pretty sure. So, right, now these fire things start going in arcs, which, yeah, that's the last puzzle piece. Okay. Which is a little tricky to predict if you're not watching carefully, but just be careful and don't be hasty. Just do not be hasty. We mustn't be careless. We cannot be reckless. Okay. I am just descending to quoting things because I have no idea what to say. That's original. Also, I haven't made a point of saying anything about this yet because I didn't actually realize it myself. The boss of this world, the boss Tiki of this world, does not show up when you die, at least not yet. There is a reason for this, and we will not find out until the end of the world. Basically, I'm just going to say that right up. They're keeping what the final boss is going to be a secret until basically until you fight it at least once. So it's okay. Really? Okay. Why am I having so much trouble? Why are there no hearts? I know I don't have to worry about... Oh, crap, that was terrible. That was bad timing. I should have gone back. Also, they're not being as nice with the checkpoints anymore, if you can't tell, because this level has only had the one checkpoint, and I think it only does have the one checkpoint, and there's a lot of things that can kill you in between the beginning and the checkpoint at the end. So, yeah. This level is not... It's not going to be easy. I'm saying it's not as hard as it looks, and I still believe that it's not quite as hard as it looks, but that's because it looks really hard, and it's only somewhat hard. That doesn't mean anything about it not being a challenge. It's just not quite as much of a challenge as it looks at first glance. It's still pretty annoying. So just be on your guard and maybe try and get Diddy to a point where you can tank hits if you need to, but also don't be reckless when you get to those points because you can burn through a lot of health really quickly if you're not playing with proper care. Okay, I'm actually getting close to the end here. Gotten all the puzzle pieces in the G, so there's basically not much left. Those coins and lives are traps. Also, you cannot stand there and there. Whew! That level could have gone what? I was about to say could have gone worse, but I also tried to change it to say could have gone better. It could have gone both. But yeah, that's about how the volcano world is going to go. Lots of fire, lots of burning, and in the next episode, we're going to stop in at Cranky's and maybe continue on a little bit further into this fiery inferno. This has been, is, and will continue to be Somni Respiratory Flux. Goodbye.